There are 6 in the box.
Okay. Hi guys. How's everybody doing today?
We're live.
We are live, and we think we are live on both YouTube and Facebook. So hopefully everything that Sarah's worked so hard on, because I kind of slouched on that one, I let her take care of it. Hopefully all of that is rolling just like it should, and we've got.
I can see that there are people watching.
That's always fun. It's encouraging not to be talking to oneself. You know, it's a little awkward if that's the case.
At least we're not on the camera by ourselves.
That's true. So I kind of interrupted one of Sarah's videos the other day, and it was she was totally talking to herself, and she was videoing. So she was hopefully talking to someone virtually, but
yeah,
at some point it was kind of entertaining to listen to her. Your voice changes.
It does, doesn't it?
It totally does. Hi guys.
We can see we have YouTube people watching us and Facebook
And
people.
Facebook.
And we can
it's so
see
exciting.
Them. Hi, we can see Penny and Barb and Dee.
Oh, that's still
Michelle,
really tiny.
Deborah, Shirley, Janie. Hi.
Hi everybody. We're so glad you're joining us.
Yes.
So we've got some fun things. Sarah and I have actually been doing a few projects of our own. So we've got some of our we're sharing today of the stuff that we've been sewing. And we also have some tips for you. Today's topic is going to be thread. So we're following the needles with what you're going to put in that. So she's got a nice little smattering set out here for us. So
I'm glad you can't see the counter.
The counter looks really messy. There's just stacks of all kinds of randomness going on here. So do you want to start?
Do you want to?
She's like, no.
Yeah, no. Do we want to? So yeah, we'll show you what's been under our needles this weekend.
Yes.
So it's been a crazy weekend. So we sold a house, which is fantastic and crazy and absolutely insane the way that it went. My old house, took a long time.
Yeah, we won't talk about how long my last house took to sell.
And there was
sad.
Right, everything that could go wrong went wrong. There were tears, there was crying. This one we listed it went on live Friday night and it was sold by Saturday afternoon. So it was completely insane. So while I was doing all of the insane stuff, Lisa was kind enough to let me leave early on Saturday. So I actually got to go home and
I kicked her out.
She did. Yeah,
I was like, you don't want to be here, right? Go.
So I did get a chance to actually go home and do some stitching. So some of these projects were kind of in the
works prior to.
Yeah, it would look like I really did a lot, but full disclosure, some of them were partially done. I just worked on them. So I don't know if any of you guys on here are fans of like the Moda jelly rolls. Well, they have these little things called honey buns, and they're tiny. They're like 1.5 inch.
So wrong.
Right? It's just food related. I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with them because they're so small.
Yeah.
But it was so cute when I got it. So I found this pattern for spools. So I made this.
I can banner for you.
Cute little. Isn't that cute? It's just a little wall hanging.
Just making sure we are on screen.
Yeah.
So
it needs to be
cute little fabrics. I love I don't know if you guys can see where I'm poking. The measure tape, the little measuring tape pieces are absolutely adorable.
We have some of that.
Of that. I know. I've taken the pattern to make apron, and I took some of that fabric to make that too. So I can't wait to get that under my needle because unfortunately I've got other things going on in my life. So
family sometimes gets in the way of our sewing time or therapy time. I know that everybody who is watching here is going to know exactly what this is, but I know that like there are some people that won't. So look at this old telephone.
Gotta go a little higher. There you go.
It says,
is that not adorable?
Hello?
And I would just like to note that you guys can actually read that.
Yes.
So
we
got our camera flipped the right way.
We got our stuff together.
We are totally the stuff together because I'm sure that's what she was about to say.
Yes. Yes.
Stuff.
And then the last thing, I actually finished this. So this is one of the built-in Mickey Mouse designs from the Luminaire. And like this is like it's texty, so like there's words and Mickey Mouse and stuff
It's
on
the
there.
cutest design.
It's so cute.
I have a pillow at home that looks almost just like that. It's a Mickey pillow. I took a nap on it this last weekend, as a matter of fact. So yes.
And then I did make some bowl cozies this weekend.
Did you?
Because the girl who does my hair, she bought these like at the dollar store, and when I was at her house last time, and they weren't well made, right? But I was like, I can make you some of those. So I was going through my stash of fabrics, and I was drawn to this one with pineapples on it, which was, I don't even know where the fabric came from because it's sort of not. But when I took them over yesterday, that her youngest daughter was so
Excited
she squealed over the pineapples. Apparently that was
always makes you feel good when something you make is that well received, isn't
Yes,
it? It's
yes.
awesome.
And
So.
then there were a couple of other ladies that were getting their hair done, and she was showing them all these bowls, right? They're simple. If you've ever made a bowl cozy, you know there's nothing
Not
to
a
it,
whole
right?
lot to it. A couple of darts,
right?
right sides
I'm
together, call it a day.
I'm like, thanks, guys. I'm like, but I feel a little guilty that you're so excited over this. So that proceeded with the very next thing. You should go into business and sell these. I'm like, yeah, how much would you pay for these?
Right?
So I thought that was funny. And we were giggling so much. I believe that's why I'm so blonde.
It's a little extra bleached because we were giggling.
Yes, because there was lots of, it was like therapy.
So I just had, my hair looks super dark next to her light. Because I got mine darkened and she totally went the other way.
Yeah.
So yes, you can't see real good. I've got a nice little red tint going on in there. So
I got some brown in there, but
you
it's
do.
definitely,
I really like the color, but you're
really,
right. It is a little, maybe a little too light on the top.
A little lighter then.
Just a little more than normal. So, yeah. So I've been working on a project in between the love notes off and on, and I finally finished it. I hung it in the store. It'll stay here for a little longer until I finish the next one, and then I'll swap them because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And again, I've mentioned it before, and it's all Beth's fault that it's done. So this is the actual pattern that Beth had done. And so, of course, I've bought it as well. There is a fabric kit that goes with this. This is the Featherweight design by Laura Heine. And she has oodles and oodles of different patterns. There's animals, there's people, a whole bunch of stuff. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff. We can now get you all of those patterns because I registered us to be a vendor for them. So we have access to all of that fun stuff as well. So I finally, after hemming and hawing what I was going to do, this is taller than you.
It is.
So
I need a step stool.
This is my dress form, and
stand back. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh,
watch out for Hazel.
Hazel's gonna take a dive. So this is a whole bunch of different random fabrics that I found either here at the store or in my stash. I did do the top quilting with the embroidery hoop, but I did something new that I hadn't done before, which is this guy right here. So the cage I did with couching, and that was Hayden's fault because it was his idea. So I love to blame other people for getting me in trouble. So Beth's fault for doing this, and then this part was Hayden's fault there. So I did that in the embroidery, and it was super easy, and it looks really cool. And I'm very tickled how it came out. So I actually thanked Hayden for that one instead of yelling at him for it. So that was really fun. And I just love it. So I've got those other patterns that I have in the works of doing.
But you did a phenomenal job. I
Thank
know that's
you.
a little outside of your box.
It is very outside of my box. I had never done anything like it.
But your box just got so much bigger.
My box, I am now, my fabric stash is much, much bigger. You look at fabrics in a very different way when you're going to do something different with them. So, something like this, I would now go, oh, I could cut that red flower out and put it
here and there
somewhere on this or whatnot. So, it's funny because she even laughed at me. She was like, you're looking at things different, are you? I'm like, so it's kind of a fun thing. And I have thoroughly enjoyed the process. I used a lot of different products in there because I was kind of testing out lots of different things. I used Steamacine 2, the light stuff, and I used the fusible applique just to kind of see. I like them both. They definitely have a little different feel to them.
The Steamacine is a lot stiffer.
When it's finished. When it's finished, there is a little bit more stiffness, but it's thinner. So the weight of it is thinner. The fusible applique, I think the sticky is actually better before you fuse with the fusible applique. So it was really interesting using all the different types of things together. If any of you are interested, we did, thanks to my new hobby, we have Patternese, which is what you draw the shape on that you're then filling in. And we do have some Steamacine here in the store if that is something that you guys have been considering.
Yes.
So lots and lots of fun, and I can't wait to do the next one. So
Yeah, you did a really, really great
thank
job.
you. It was a lot of fun. I changed it many times. It was like, nope, I don't like that. That's got to go. But thank
It's
God,
funny how
thank
different it looks. Isn't it?
goodness, my husband built me that beautiful cabinet. I would have nowhere to work because it's literally the length of my cabinet. And so it's like, he got another thank you. I was like, that is such a wonderful thing, honey. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did was I finally got around to making a zippered bag. These are from the Take a Peek zipper pouch patterns, which is Kimberbell. So I finally got a store sample done. You have to sew. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this pattern because you know me and sewing, I like it to all be done in the hoop if whenever possible. But I have to say this was super easy to sew back together. You basically embroider the front, open the zipper, and then embroider the back in a separate hooping, and then you take them out, you cut, and you sew it all together. It was very, very easy.
And so it's really just like the side seams
It's
that you're.
it's literally just the boxed corner, and then the little bit of
Of
here
here.
that you're
Mhm.
doing. So it all lines up literally perfect because it's done in the embroidery hoop. So it's not like I miscut or something to that effect. It came together really, really easy. So the products, what?
Hayden. Hi.
Working pretty hard over there. So the products that I use to do that are the Kimberbell leather. So this is the navy leather, but they come in lots of colors. And, you know, it is a Kimberbell project. So bear with the Kimberbell. They have the new lace zippers, which are very pretty. We have almost all the colors in stock. And then we talked about this weeks ago when it first came out, the colored vinyl. So these have these shades of green and super pretty. Very easy to work with. The hardest thing in the whole thing, I think, was getting the vinyl out of the plastic bag.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that was the other thing that I did. I actually made these at work. I wasn't at home. These were actually got something done here. Can you imagine?
I know it's almost unheard of.
You know, that's why I'm here, ladies,
nights.
because it's the only time I can sew while I'm here.
I know that's why I'm here.
So if you what?
That's
why you come early. So it's the opposites, right? So these are what you'll be receiving if you are doing embroidery club, which I have one class this Saturday at 3:00, and the second option is next Wednesday at 5. So I do know that those times are weird, but it is when the store closes. So I will be able to be dedicated directly to whatever's going on in the classroom instead of being pulled here and there based on what's going on in the store. These are very, very cute. It is, I didn't choose holiday, like Halloween fabrics, but you certainly could do that. And what a cute little giveaway or something to give. Granted, if you have 50 plus kids, maybe that's not the way to go. But if you just have a little smattering, it's a really cute thing. The tubes can be filled with anything. I don't know if you guys can see, these are buttons. Very colorful and fun. Or candy. I love candy, as we haven't talked about food yet.
No.
What are we going to talk about today? So I definitely have a sweet tooth. And so you can put lots of fun things in there. And that is what I have been sewing. I did make a new mask, but you know, but that was Kimberbell too.
Right. I feel like we're always making a mask. Like it's just a constant reminder that this is our new normal.
Our new life. This
Yes.
is what we are now doing. So
I have I never would have thought that I would have had such a large collection of masks.
I thought it was really adorable. You were like, I needed a blue one.
I know.
then
And
she
then
looked, and then she
not
looks down.
even
She
the
goes,
right
it doesn't
blue.
match very
I
well.
know. Here
It's
somewhere
just like-
on the table.
So I went with multicolors so that it kind of goes with
A variety of
everything.
different
So I
colors.
didn't.
Yeah.
I have this really big thing my mom taught me. You know, match your shoes with your belt and your purse and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. And I do try to do that because I do think that it gives off a.
Polished
I'm
look.
actually with it. Look, I thought about what I was doing this morning instead of just threw on the first thing that was available. And I do really enjoy doing that. I may have a fairly good purse and shoe collection just to
You might have mentioned that once or twice.
kind of a bag lady. But
So,
so
let's go back to the embroidery project for just one
Yeah.
quick second. So it's virtual, so there's no reason to worry that we're going to run out of spots in the
Nope.
class. So anybody can come in and you can sign up. But I do want to reiterate that you need to come into the store to sign up. You can call and we can hold it for you, but you have to physically come here and you have to bring
Pick
your
up the
USB
kit,
stick
bring a
and
USB.
pick your kit up.
Yep.
Yes. We aren't doing, maybe eventually when we have, let's hope, I mean, I want to think that this isn't going to continue forever and that sometime we're going to go back into normal classes and that we won't have to really have our stuff together for an extended amount of time. But, you know, we didn't have enough time to effectively send
to
these
mail them out, and
to
especially
anyone.
with the mail, all of you that had your love notes mailed to you know how wonderful the mail system is. I'm not comfortable sending files virtually because then they're out there and too easy to share with people that didn't rightfully own them, and that's not fair to Kimberbell. So we do try to follow the rules and keep that proprietary file to those who've purchased it versus elsewhere. Not that any of you would do that, but it's just so much easier once they're out there in an email already.
Right,
Oh, I'll just
right.
send this to so-and-so, and we don't want that to happen.
Right. So that's kind of where we're at. And if you guys have been into the store recently, you know that our store isn't really equipped to block off a significant portion of the store. So one of the reasons that we've been delaying having actual classes, even small classes in
I
the
don't
shop,
have anywhere for you to sit.
we don't have anywhere specifically to put you, and where we're not going to be on top of each other. So that's one of the reasons why we are delaying our in-person classes.
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't want to do them.
As soon as we have the space available, we will. They won't be the 20-person classes that we've had for
for a
quite
while.
some time, but we do, we've sectioned off a part of the store that we have the intention for doing the classes in. But for all of you who were repairing your machine, that's where they're currently sitting at. So as long as that is still we have literally 100 machines here, there's nowhere else to put them. So that's kind of what we're waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mhm.
but please don't not bring your machine because
Yes.
of that. We definitely want to get you guys taken care of so that you can sew at home.
Absolutely. But that is what we've been doing. Do you want to
Just
say
go
hi?
get what, just
No, I want to
go,
look at fabric.
go,
Look,
just
look.
go.
Look, yes.
Say hi, Gail, to everybody. There, she's
Hi,
not going to look at the
everybody.
camera, but okay. So,
We
Um,
are
I
still
told you I
open.
had my lipstick on.
So
yes, she won't take her
She won't
mask
say
off
hi.
or say hi physically. And I said, oh, was that a requirement? I don't have foundation on because I got tired of washing it out of my masks. And God, I haven't worn lipstick and I don't remember the last time I put lipstick on. That is so sad.
Mhm.
I have a lot of makeup. Being an American consultant kind of does that, but I have a lot.
All right. So good choice, Gail.
Excellent
Can't
choice.
go wrong with purple,
No. So speaking of purple,
right? That was a good lead-in.
what? I don't. Good job, Gail.
No problem.
So we have been carrying the King Star metallic thread now for quite some time, and there is this color that they call lavender, and I laughed. I said, "That's not lavender. That's pink."
You
So
ready?
this is the lavender. You guys can make the decision. It's awful pink for me. I wanted a real purple, and so we called
Just
our.
for reference, this is pink.
That's pink. What do you think, guys?
They look exactly the same, right?
But it stitches very beautifully. We didn't
Yes.
grab those.
I didn't.
We'll bring. I have some
Yes.
sample stuff sewn out with the metallic threads. So we called our rep and we were like, "Are you guys ever gonna get like a real purple? Because we love purple. We are both very fond of purple." And so we were like, "We really need this." So she called us as soon as it was an available thing, and she's like, "Guess what, ladies? I've got
Ready?
purple." And that is some purple thread. It is
Right.
so pretty. This is a metallic,
Mm-hmm.
but like all of our other King Star metallics, you really don't have to do anything different with your machine. You don't have to change the needle. You really don't even have to slow it down. Making sure that you have it coming off the spool is good. You don't want horizontal and having clumps going through your feed system, but that is really it. It is just like a regular thread. Hey, Hayden, on the back of the front counter, there are the metallic bookmarks that I have. When you get a second, could you bring those over? Thanks. So we are very excited. There's purple.
Very
I'm going to
excited.
take some home and make some new samples so that you guys can see what it looks like stitched out.
Yes.
The bookmarks that he's going to bring me here in just a second, I did both the top and the bobbin, so it's lace. And I never broke threads. I mean, they stitch. It's
Yeah.
just a wonderful thing.
They
It
were
is-
the bookmarks from
So
our
one
dime
of
event.
them is the dime event. So it has the butterfly at the top and then a nice little lacy, I don't know how to describe that, back and forth sign, kind of a loopy thing down the stem. And that one is in this pink. I mean, purple.
Purple.
Thank you. So this is, oh, sorry. Just trying to find things in our mess. I
Yeah.
don't know how. So this is that beautiful little guy. This was free from the dime event that we held. It was a free download, and I did that. So you can see both sides are with the metallic, both top and bobbin threads, and stitched with absolutely no issues. It was
Right.
so great. And I have stitched with some other metallics that may not have been quite so nice to work with. So this is the other one. It is still the same threads, but it's actually called an ombre bookmark. And this one is an OESD file. So I've got silver and then 2 different shades of gold that make that ombre look in there. Do I say
Yeah, you know what? So I mean, this.
So there was
I'm
originally
sure it
4
wasn't
of these.
intentionally.
There was 4 of these. I have 2 gold ones, and then I had 2 blue shade ombre ones. My blue ones have disappeared. So if anybody accidentally took those home in your bag, I'd love to get
They
it
were
back.
not for sale.
They were not. They were just samples to see how beautiful those are. And I mean, it's one of those things that happens, but it's so
Sometimes
pretty.
It does. They were
That was the problem. They were too pretty.
pretty. Someone else really.
Someone really
needed them.
wanted to
Hopefully
take those
it
home.
Really made her day.
I really hope so. Whoever it happens to be.
Yes.
Maybe they were a gift for somebody. Who knows?
Yes.
But the colors are all so beautiful, and they stitch just wonderfully. So that was why we had all those different options. But so that's metallic thread, and there are multiple colors now. I don't remember how many, but a whole bunch. 12, 14?
14.
12 or 14 different colors, and they all stitch just as beautifully as the others.
Mhm.
So that is
Really,
metallics.
Really great metallic thread.
It is. I
Can't
mean,
say enough good things about it.
you don't have to do any fun switching of the spools. Not you just pop it in like it's every other thread and
Yep.
sew.
Don't have to do the hokey pokey while you're doing it.
No,
great.
though it would be interesting to watch if anyone wants to, do that
the
for
hokey
us.
pokey.
We
Yeah,
can absolutely
to see
enjoy
that
the
video.
video. Absolutely. You betcha. All right, what else you got?
So, because we knew we wanted to talk about the metallic thread, we thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little bit of a quick lesson on actually thread, right? Because I know that this happens a lot when I'm teaching a class, especially like if I have a bunch of new people coming into the class. They have a variety,
Very wide range.
yes, a variety of different choices for their threads, and we would just like to point out, I would just like to point out that it is important to know that thread does have a shelf life. So if it's old or brittle, it's not your sewing machine that is the problem. It is the thread. And a lot of people, they get it when you say it, but they don't necessarily correlate thread breakage with problematic thread. So I always tell people, you can take your thread and tie a little knot in it. And then if you pull it, if it breaks right away, that is really
Not
bad
something-
thread.
It's if it breaks like this, it's gonna break in your project. So it's not going to stay together. It's kind of if you can easily snap that,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something you want to put through the machine and into this project you're spending all that time and energy on, because it's just not going to last. And then you'll be very sad, and we don't want sad people. So
No.
let's
And sometimes you've moved up in machines, and the machines, the more expensive machines are.
they do need a higher quality thread. They're moving faster.
Right. So it's important. People think that because I bought an expensive machine, I should just be able to use anything with it. And it's not that you can't use anything in it. It's that Lisa said, the machine has the ability, there's more working parts, and it
Yep.
puts more stress on the thread. And so therefore it breaks easier.
So I feel like I've made all the mistakes
No, we've
before
all
I
done
ever
this.
got here. So, I started embroidering with my mom. She got a gift of a machine. And so that's how I started. Didn't really have any base to work off of. So if there was a mistake to be made, I guarantee we made them all. Stabilizers, thread, you name it. We did it wrong before we did it right.
Mhm.
And then I used my mom's machine so much, I was like, I really need to get one of my own. Found Leabu on the internet, and there's the story how it starts, right? So I came in here and I got the machine. I bought thread on the internet because that's what we all, there's this beautiful case of thread. It's all packaged and it's so pretty, and it was inexpensive, and it worked okay in that little 4x4 machine.
Mhm.
And then I upgraded, and I took it home and I made a project, and it broke and it broke and it broke and it broke. And I called Gene. I said, "What piece of bleep did you sell me? I can't get anything to work." And he's like, "Well, bring it in. We'll see what's going on." So I bring it in and he opens up the front of the machine and he goes, "What in God's name are you putting in this?" I'm like, "It's the same thread I've been using." And he looked at me and he said, "You were driving an Escort. Now you're driving a Corvette. You got to put better gas in it." And I was like, that actually made sense. I was like, I used to drive an Escort, so, and I have driven a Corvette. So
Big
it
difference.
totally made sense. And there is a very big difference. And that's always been in my head. I mean, we're talking years ago that he said that. And that day I bought the 100 big old spool thing of Floriani thread, a little bit more than I wanted to spend because, you know, we're just as tight with our money as you guys are. We get it. So, you know, it was like, okay, well, if I want to make this work, I got to put in the right stuff.
Right.
And so it is very important that quality matches. And it absolutely works. The better stuff you put in, the better the product that's going to come out in the finished thing. So
Yes.
there's my embarrassing I'm an idiot story. So for the day, I'm sure there'll be more later. So.
And then, you know, good quality thread can mean a lot
of
to
things.
a different
Mhm.
people, right? And we want you to know that one of the reasons why we carry the particular brands that we carry in the store is because we use them.
We do.
And so we know that you're going to get a good quality product. And we try a lot of stuff. We buy all kinds of stuff for the store and we try lots of stuff. And a lot of stuff never makes the mark. It's just bad. But you can buy the absolute best quality thread and still have some issues. And you're most likely to have those issues if the thread is dark. And so if the thread is dark
Navy
colors,
blue,
so
dark green,
black, navy
black.
blue, anything that needs a lot of basically saturation.
Yep.
And black is going to be the ultimate worst. And
Yep.
black oftentimes looks the worst. If you have done any top stitching or something, the black thread just, it doesn't matter what you do to it. It never looks as pretty as some of the other colors. And I always tell people that is because no one ever intentionally made black thread. So these are all of the threads
The
that
oopses from everything
exactly.
else.
So like the color shading was off, or it didn't get the dye didn't saturate all the way through. So they just take all of these excess threads and they just dump them literally in this vat of dye, and they just leave them there until it's saturated. And so the longer it stays inside that vat of dye, the weaker the thread becomes. The cat in the hat. I love same with him. Green eggs and ham.
Green eggs and ham. Have you ever made green eggs?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
There used to be a restaurant called Brownies right down the street from my house.
Uh-huh.
And they used to make the green eggs and ham because I would order that when I was a kid. Yeah.
So I make chicken and dumplings. So we had to talk about food. And my grandma always dyed the gravy, usually yellow. So it wasn't like disgusting or something. Well, of course, my kids are like, make it purple, Mom, make it green. So we've had all kinds of crazy gravy over our chicken and dumplings. But it's always fun.
Yeah.
And, you know. But yeah, sometimes you have to add a lot more dye to get the color that you want, which is what happens with your thread.
That is what happens with your thread. So we have a lot of different thread choices.
That's the weirdest
I know. We just at least it wasn't. It was PG.
It was
completely
PG. You
today.
are absolutely correct.
I know.
We are.
People might be disappointed. So we have black thread in a variety of different choices. So we have polyester embroidery thread.
Yep.
We have polyester sewing thread, and then we have cotton sewing thread and cotton variegated thread for decorative purposes. They have different weights. This is a polyester embroidery thread.
It's red, white, and blue. It's really cool.
It is. It's very pretty.
I really like that one.
They have different weights. And so we talked a little bit about needles last week. So if you have a size 80-12 needle, as you go up in the numbers, 90-14, the hole in the needle gets bigger.
It's a little bit bigger. Yep.
Thread is exactly the opposite.
Because
so
God, why would we make it easy?
Right. Obviously, two guys designed this, right? They didn't talk to each other. If they had, maybe they did. Maybe
they were just like, this will be funny. This will be our joke on the women, right?
Exactly.
Except I know there's some guys out there too. I didn't mean to disclude you.
No.
So sorry.
I know, right? So many. There used to be all tailors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird thing. But anyways, the thread is opposite. So if you have a 12 weight thread, which happens to be this really pretty stuff, right? Completely
It's really
decorative.
hard to see.
It's very
in there,
hard
but
to
that
see.
means it's heavier.
It's heavier. This is going to be heavier than this 60 weight thread. This is going to be very fine, and this is going to be very thick. So you have to get your thread size proportionate to your needle size. So it's important to pay attention to that. So I think that's like a general.
It is very general, but it follows, you know. One of the things that I always try to think about, and sometimes it helps me and sometimes it maybe helps whoever it is that I'm talking about, but you use those heavier threads in general for top stitching. It's a decorative thread. You're not using it to create that seam to put together whatever it is that you're making. It's a decorative thread, and that's why you want that heavier bit. So if it's top stitching, you want probably a top stitch needle. And the top stitch needles do have multiple sizes, but the eye in even the 80 top stitch is larger than your general 80 in a universal or, you know, your 75 embroidery. It's significantly different. So if you kind of think about what it is that you're doing, it does make sense. And they've actually kind of labeled them, unless that's paychecks. Nope, it's not paychecks. Okay. If paychecks calls, I'm going to disappear for just a second because we all want to get paid. So that's the only reason it's still there.
Yes.
Otherwise, I would have hidden it, but
in the drawer.
in the drawer. But I want to get paid, so I'm staying on top of
It's
that.
payday. We had to buy more fabric.
Right. Absolutely
we have
correct.
Our priorities straight.
We absolutely do.
you were
So
concerned.
unfortunately, payday really has nothing to do with the amount of crap I take home on every random day.
No, I have a hefty bar tab.
Yeah. I just would like to say I really love that my husband works nights now because he's not there when I come home with my tub of whatever it happens to be.
I don't have that luxury.
No,
I get in the
you
car.
get in the car. Yeah. No, I have complete anonymity when it comes to that. And he very rarely comes up to my sewing room because I'm like, what do you want? Go away. So,
one
awesome.
last thing about thread. So I know a bunch of people are working on the Kimberbell Twilight Boulevard. And there, if you are on Kimberbell's Facebook group, Kimberbella's, you may have seen mention of some thread that's smaller, thinner.
It's a fine line thread
Yes.
or a micro thread, depending upon what company that you are purchasing it from. They all call it, you know, their own twist, because God forbid, again, we call it all the same thing.
Yes.
But it's generally a larger numbered weight thread. Which is going to give you a thinner line. So when you're doing those small letterings and things, for instance, the bakery shop or whatever, I forget what they call it.
Yeah.
But you know, all of the little signs and things that you're stitching, you sometimes don't want that heavier thread because it clumps and you end up with balls of stuff that's not really where it's supposed to be. And you can't read the letters really clearly. So fine line or micro, depending on what you happen to have. I have both at home because I've been gathering them from different time frames. You do want to make sure that your bobbin is equivalency as well. So make sure that your bobbin thread is not, at least not heavier than your top thread. I'm going to test that. I'll let you guys know next week. I thought I would try some 90 weight in the bobbin and see how that ends up. But when you are doing lettering, especially a running stitch, which just, you know, not a satin stitch, but just a running stitch, you definitely want to match your bobbin thread because you don't want to see any of that color coming through. We talked about that a lot in all of the Love Notes videos because there was wording in quite a few different places. That holds true with everything, not just with that quilt. So if you're doing something that's that kind of lettering, or even not lettering, but a stitch that goes around something that's just a thin running stitch, match your bobbin to your top thread so that you get that nice, clean, crisp look.
Yeah, that's super important.
Very, very important. Do we have any other threads that we want to share?
I think that's it. I talked about, this is my favorite. So
here's a big spool of her favorite.
Right.
This is what's on my sewing machine.
Yeah. After you buy a couple of these, you're like, man, I'm gonna get the big one.
Give me the big one. Yep.
So I like my favorite sewing thread is a cotton thread. It's Presentia.
And why is it your favorite?
Because I'm old school, I guess, and I like that they still do 3 strands inside there. So I tell people, if you think about like a braid, right? So if you try to braid your hair with 2 strands, it's just a twist.
It's a twist, and what happens? It untwists, and then you're ended up with 2 strands.
2 strands, right? With 2 strands singly are not going to be as strong as 3 strands that are sort of, while they aren't braided, they are twisted in a way that they stay together.
Stay together.
So there's 3 strands of fine thread in there. So that makes the thread just a little bit stronger.
And what does that do in your seam when you're going to press your quilts?
It makes it flat, and it doesn't take up a lot of extra space.
So that doesn't make sense. Why does 3 strands take up less space than 2?
Because it's still a 60 weight thread. So by definition, when they weigh
I already
the
knew
threads,
these answers in case anybody.
so by definition, when they do, when they tell you it's a 60 weight, they are basically going by the total
weight count
the
of
total
that
weight.
piece.
And so this and these two threads are the same weight.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, but you know.
I was like, wait, what?
If these two threads were the same weight, right?
I gotta look.
This one would still have 3 strands and that one would still have 2 strands. They would take up the same amount of space in
In
your
the
seam
seam.
allowance, but one would
You're
be
gonna
a
have
little
the
bit
strength
more.
in the seam.
Yeah, one would be stronger than the other.
Yep.
So if you ever want to know what my favorite thread is, that is my favorite thread. We
So
carry
it's
just
called Presencia, and I can now spell that. I had a really hard time spelling that when she was like, let's bring this stuff in. I'm like,
What?
okay. And then I have caught you misspelling it, so I feel a little bit better
I'm
about
a
that.
terrible speller, so.
But so it is really great stuff. You guys can see if you want to look that up. Presencia, it is really good. I have started using it since my partner in crime here is she's a really bad influence. In case anybody didn't know that, but some things it's good stuff. It's just not always good for the pocketbook.
True. It's
But,
not cheap thread, but it's
not, but it's really not more like way more or anything than anything else, and you do get really nice results. Especially with quilting. When you are putting something together, you don't want it to fall apart. So making sure that whatever you are doing that construction stitch with, I'm not talking top decorative stuff, I'm talking construction. It is very important that what you're putting in there is strong, which is why if you can break it, don't use it, because you want that quilt to last. You put a lot of time and effort, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a quilt. It can be anything, but you want to make sure that it is a good, strong seam, so it's going to last.
So if your thread is on cardboard or styrofoam or wood, you should put it in a jar and put it
And
on
make it really pretty. It's a
Yes.
decorative piece that goes on the shelf.
Yep.
Buy a nice big mason jar and
Put it in there.
fill it
It'll
up
be
and make it
super
pretty.
Cute.
It'll be very cute.
Yes. Barb asked about the.
I'm so
purple
impressed
thread.
that you can read
It
that.
says, "Is the purple metallic by Dime a new color?"
Yes.
Yes, it is. This is their new purple color, MA23.
It's kind of a Halloween twist. It's got just that little bit of, I don't know what.
Kind of like it's a pinky purple.
It is a pinky purple, which, it goes with that one really nicely.
Yes.
But it's not a royal purple, but
Right.
it's really sharp.
very
It is
pretty.
very, very pretty. I'm going to go and make some more of these with purple so we can show that off. Maybe I'll tack it, sew it into the wall.
Yeah, I think maybe we have to go back to the everything
I
is
think we're
nailed
going to
down.
have to make sure everything is nailed down. I can't make cute samples, one or the other,
I know.
because, can I just have this? No.
I think that's about it for thread.
For threads, yeah.
But really quickly, or it doesn't have to be quickly, I guess. But next,
Knowing us, it won't be.
we wanted to let you know. So some of you guys have some of you watched our video about what's coming with the brother supplies at the
Brother new released stuff
at the beginning of the month.
Last when
month.
it was beginning of August. We did it. It was on Wednesday, not Tuesday, because that was when all the released stuff came out.
Mhm.
And Sarah, real quick, made this spreadsheet from all these random pictures on
I
the
was
internet.
pretty impressed with
I was
myself
very.
that day.
I mean,
I
it
was
wasn't.
focused.
It didn't have a lot of flourish, but it was all
No.
there, and it was very effective. So we've been waiting for some of this product for weeks and weeks and weeks. So we're very excited. We got some in today.
Yeah, we were opening the
So,
boxes just before we went live.
Scan and cut. Pretty much none of the scan and cut stuff has been in prior to today. So if you are on our list, we literally just opened these boxes and found all these goodies that were delivered. So I have finally here both the Disney and the non-Disney. Is there a better name for that? The Disney and the non-Disney vinyl blade kit. So what that's going to be, okay. What that's going to be is it's going to have, so this is, oops. Right and left gets me every time on these things. So this one is going to be the vinyl blade kit. So no Disney involved. What that is it is your holder, which is going to have a light blue top. Again, these are for the DX series scan and cuts. It's going to have the blade in it itself. So those are the two parts. The third part is there is a design card in here that you can access and get designs that are made for that. Somebody asked me today, what kind of vinyl is that intended for? How thick will it go? This is intended for your heat transfers and your craft vinyls, not for like a marine vinyl or something like that, that you would want to use your standard black topped blade for. This is for intricate cuts. So lace work, real swirly little things, or tiny, tiny little circles or something like that. You're going to get that nice crisp line. It is a much more delicate blade so that it's not pushing and pulling, otherwise known as stretching or tearing. You're going to get that nice crisp cut. So that is that one, and that one was $59.99. Again, you get the holder, the blade, and the design pack in there. The Disney one is all three of those things plus a Disney design card that again has those intricate, really cute designs.
So
those
say that again.
are
Everything that's in
in
this
that one is in this one plus the Disney designs, and this one runs $99.99. You can get, I believe, I haven't seen it on the order sheet yet, but it's on Canvas. So I think you'll be able to get just those designs at some later date. So if you went with this one, I think you can get that. However, I can't swear to that because everything's still very unknown at this point. It's amazing how little this whole virtual convention thing, instead of being there,
so hard.
it's been very hard. And it's not just because we weren't there, but they didn't tell the reps everything either ahead of time. So, you know, when we call and we ask a question, they're like, I don't know, let me get back to you. So everything just is a little bit harder.
Alice wants to know where this came from. OESD.
That is OESD. And that one is called Ombre Bookmarks. It is available if you go through our website. There's a OESD tab, and you can shop right through our site, and we would actually get the credit.
It's like shopping from
It's
us.
like shopping right from us, but it will come to you instead of here and then having to come and get it. So it goes right through you on that one. I had a ton of fun. There's a lot of different ones. This one just happens to be one. There's the mermaid. Trying to think what, there's a peacock. What's the, oh, their feather. I really liked the feather. There's a feather. So there's multiples in there, and they stitch out beautifully. And again, I used the, I now have bobbins of all these colors because I used it in the bobbin as well. I had to actually take home more bobbins because I had so many different things. I was like, I'm out of
You
bobbins.
can never have enough.
Holy
bobbins.
crow. So yes, absolutely love that, Alice. And more power to you for reading that
Yes.
little tiny
And
print.
Holly says, does the Disney work in the regular
Yes, it does.
DX
So
225?
just like you can buy a Disney card and work that in any of the scan and cuts, you can also do the same with this. It does not have to be the Disney DX version for that. Though, of course, if you already have the Disney, I'm pretty sure you probably want the Disney version just so that you have all of those add-on. What?
I want it.
Oh, you, I'm like, what
Yeah.
are you, who are you
Me?
waving at? I'm looking around like an idiot. Like, what is she doing?
I want it.
She wants it. So yes, there's some really, really cute designs. Unfortunately, they don't really show you them on the box, but you can see
There's
them.
like 4 on the side.
There's a couple, oh, look at that. So, you can see the side of that box and the side of that box. So you can see a couple. Good job. I didn't see that.
They were on
They
my
were
side.
facing you. So she cheated.
Yes.
So those are both available. We did get the, I think, rhinestone cards in. I just didn't bring one over. And there was another card, Disney Princess
was another
something.
Disney card.
I think it was Frozen 2
sounds
card
right.
that came in. So we do have that. Scan and Cut Playbook. I am super excited. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Cindy Hogan is who wrote this book. And Cindy Hogan is who comes and helps us out when we go to Novi. So if you have come in and asked Scan and Cut questions at Novi, you have probably met Cindy Hogan. She's about yay tall. She has this cute little blonde, and she talks really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love her to pieces. So she is the guru. You know, I know a lot of you guys think I'm the guru. She is totally the guru.
And just a quick thing, if you can follow her on Facebook. She's been doing Tuesday, no, maybe Monday shut-in or something, software shut-in. So she's been doing a bunch of stuff on different software, BES. And last week and this week, which I think was yesterday, she did Canvas Workspace.
Okay.
So she's answering a bunch of questions. So I know that they're on her Facebook page for
Cool.
replaying. So you guys can watch
Lots of
some
information
those.
there. She is absolutely wonderful, and I just like to hear her talk.
I know.
So.
Yes, it's worth it just to
It is just
hear-
worth it just to hear her talk. It's not quite as fun as hearing a dude do it, but
No.
yeah, take what you can get.
Right. She's so sweet. She is just so
I've
sweet.
tried to get my husband to talk with an accent. He just doesn't.
They look at us like we're crazy.
like we're
right?
nuts.
I'm
I'm like, it's
yeah.
a thing. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go. But no.
when I was
doesn't do it.
redoing the bathroom in my old house, there was an Italian guy, and he just kept the way he kept saying jacuzzi. And so I just kept asking him to repeat it. This is about the 7th time, and Dave's like, I know you know that he's saying jacuzzi. I'm like, yeah, but I really like to hear you say it. He turned bright red. It was so funny. I was like, it would be okay if every time you walked by me, you didn't say, hey, Sarah, just say jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. I have no idea how he said it, but yeah, that would.
Yeah.
So if I do that, you'll probably crack up laughing,
I
right?
will, yes.
Awesome. I love it. It's kind of like chocolate ice cream.
Right? You have to make up like a funny accent though. It's gotta be like jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi?
Yeah, there you go.
I sound like the guy from Beauty and the Beast.
Beast. Yeah. But this
The
book,
candle guy. What's his name? Lemire?
yes.
Lumiere. That's it. Good job,
This
Hayden.
book is chock full of all kinds of greatness.
Info.
Yes. And there is a fancy USB stick on here.
So yes, this is actually a USB stick.
We should show them how this works.
So here's your USB stick, and everybody goes, huh? So let's see. I'm gonna have to break it. Where's the doodad? You gotta pull it out, right? Okay, so I can't do it either. There it goes. Okay, so there's a little release there, and then it flips, and it gives you the bird. All right, so that is your actual USB stick. It is literally just a flip up from the card there, and that is that. A lot of people are like, I didn't get a USB. Yeah, you did. It just doesn't really look like your normal USBs.
And
so,
they get pig pong.
This is one of my favorite little card
Is it?
things. Pig pong is adorable lettering, but it's 3D lettering. So if you stitch, I always say that. When you cut out the A, it gives you little tiny pieces that then you would bend up, and it creates flowers and just it's absolutely adorable.
It looks very cute.
It is very cute. If you have talked to me in the past, you know I'm a scrapbooker. Well, I was a scrapbooker. I haven't scrapbooked in about 6 years since I moved. It's all got put in boxes. I haven't quite gotten out of that, but card and lettering for scrapbooks, because you have to title your pages, whatever it was.
Right.
So it's very, very cute and one of my favorite cards. So I do think I own that one. Big shocker there, I'm sure. So Scan and Cut stuff is definitely fantastic for what they came out with this time. There is also the Adobe Illustrator link. I did get one of those in. It's in the box it was in the bottom of the box. I have no idea how many people are interested in that, so I didn't order a ton of those. We just have the one, but we certainly can always order more. God knows when they'll come in, but yeah, so there's a lot of really great stuff. One of the things I do the most with my Scan and Cut is cut vinyl, so I'm very, very excited for this new blade, because I have run into that where what I'm doing is very intricate, and I get just that little pull back from that point, and it pulls it up just a little bit, and you get kind of the accordion little thing in there. You don't want that.
I really need to step up my Scan and Cut game.
Yep.
I cut a mask template. I felt really proud, but I haven't touched it since.
And who prepped that mask template for you?
My good buddy here.
She's like, can you make me this?
Oh yeah.
I need a cut file.
Just not enough hours in the day.
There really isn't. I have no idea when I'm going to get done on my vacation. It might be absolutely nothing, because I have to tell you, nothing sounds really, really good right now. Yeah. But this might happen.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of relaxing. I've never really done anything that was fussy cut. And the Laura Heine stuff is total fussy cut everything.
Absolutely.
But it was so much fun.
So
what else you got?
Well, let's just recap the Scan and Cut stuff. So if you pre-ordered, if you told me or Lisa that you wanted this Scan and Cut, or Hayden, if you told any of us gals or guys about that you wanted a Scan
and you want it on the list, they are finally here.
They are here.
So
we don't have any extras at this point
of these of the playbooks. I do have extras of these.
Yep.
And I did get a shipper that the fabric mats have shipped, but they have not shown up yet. So sometime in the next week, hopefully even the next couple of days, we will see those show up. I'm very excited about that. That is probably the number one question that I get asked from the masses is, I'm trying to cut fabric and it's going all over the place. I can't get it to stay still. This is an extra sticky mat specifically for that. So when I say cutting fabric, I mean just fabric. So whether it's for a quilt piece, fussy cutting something, which your Scan and Cut can do that fussy cut. Why didn't I think of that? Damn.
Next time. Could like pre-program like different shapes too, and fussy cut different shapes.
You can. So, if you have fabrics that are repeating shapes, you can lay that over, because of course you can scan that in, take a picture, and then just zoop, and put that over whatever. Cindy Hogan actually showed that. You can scan in the fabric. You can send that scan to Canvas Workspace and work on your big screen instead of the little guy that's on the machine, so you can really get very accurate pieces. And
That's much nice.
but you can do it very easily at the machine, but it is maybe
Little
just a
screen.
little bit easier to see.
Depends on the strength of your glasses.
Yeah,
right?
I think I need a little stronger readers because I
I
am
see
hopeless.
Penny and
I
Michelle
would like a playbook.
would both like a playbook. We will put your names on the list. And Roseanne, you were already on the list, so yours is here. And once again, the fabric mats are not in.
They are not
yet.
here yet, but hopefully in the next couple of days. And just like always, we will shoot out that email. These literally just came in, so that's why you guys haven't been emailed yet. So if you are already on the list, you've told one of us or you've prepaid or put a deposit down. If you told Jean, sorry, I probably didn't get the message. No, I'm just kidding. But if you told one of us that you wanted it, your name is on. I have a beautiful spreadsheet of all of this, trying to keep track of it because there's a lot to keep track of all of a sudden. And but the vinyl blade kits are here. The playbooks for those who pre-ordered them are here. We will put in a new order for more. I can actually do that literally as soon as we log off here. I'll go add some more on.
And I know that lots of you are still waiting for your upgrades and your hoops. So
or one or the other.
They're not here yet. So we aren't ignoring you, but they have not come in yet.
And unfortunately, I have not seen a shipper on that yet.
No, and both for our Solaris and our Luminaire gals,
we're waiting on all of them. It's not one way or the other. It's everybody's waiting, unfortunately.
Yes, and I promise
including us.
They have been ordered.
We didn't just steal them the first time they came in. We haven't seen any of those yet. So,
but they are coming eventually. I'm not really sure. We'll blame COVID. I'm sure it has something to do with it.
It absolutely is that. It's all the stuff's on the boats. That slow boat from China has become a real thing. And so there are boats literally sitting waiting to be able to dock with all of our goodies on them. So we really would love to have them. The scan and cut stuff, he told me when I called and asked, because aren't those vinyl blades in yet? And he said there was 2 shipments coming in September. This is the results from the first one, and I believe the fabric mats were on the second. And so those are coming as well. So he said like the first and the third week. And so we're actually slightly ahead on that, which is almost unheard of. So yay. And we'll let you guys know the moment those show up. And
yes, Roseanne, the Disney kit is in. Lisa is holding it in her hot little hands. But the fabric mat is not
there's a couple of the designs that are in there. If you would like to see these, if you go to Canvas Workspace, click on the Disney tab across the top. Once you get onto that piece, there is a picture of all of those. You want to click the tab that says show all, and it will literally pop up and you'll get a square of each an icon of each of those designs. So you can see what it is. That will help you make the decision which direction that you want to go. So I think I ordered like 35 fabric mats. So that won't be a problem once they actually get here. We will have more. So even if you didn't pre-order it, I should have though. And it did say all 35 were shipping. So we should have a nice stack of those. So
let's see. Is there anything else new? We got a new cabinet in today. So if you have a machine like us, it's not
big enough.
No,
unfortunately.
But it's pretty.
You got it. I love it. I'm
grayish,
trying to think.
Right?
It is gray. It's
gray beige.
It's a wood grain with the gray and then a little bit lighter grain to it, and it's very, very pretty. It is made by TaylorMade. It's called the Quilter's Vision, and I think it's a 3-piece set. It's got an extension off the back, it's got an extension off the side, and then there's a bank of drawers that the bank of drawers can move. It is a really nicely made piece. It gives you a lot of sewing space. Unfortunately, my machine doesn't work in it, but I'm still trying to figure out where I could put it in my sewing room, and I'm pretty full at this moment, so I'm really not sure where that would go.
Like a cute scan and cut table to sit at, because
so all I have to do is break the one that I have.
Yeah,
I could maybe take a hammer up and beat it up a little bit.
Push it down the stairs accidentally.
It's not bad. It kind of works, but this one's way nicer. So I don't think I want to do the push it down the stairs thing.
No.
No, unfortunately.
Sounds better than practicality.
It does, but probably not going to happen.
So yeah, we have that cute cabinet here.
Yep.
We sold out of the baby lock.
Sold out
new
of everything.
cover stitch machine. It came in and went.
It came and went right back out.
really
I think it
cool.
was here for maybe a day. I think it was here. We had 500s that came in this week, and all 3 went out yesterday.
Yeah.
So blink and they are gone. If there is a machine you are waiting on, please make sure that we have your phone number and what it is that you're looking for, so that the moment we see one, we can give you a call. I can't hold one for you unless you put a deposit, but it doesn't have to be like the whole thing or even half, just a couple $100 for some of those machines, and we will call you first, kind of thing. So just like everything with a deposit, you bump yourself up on that list.
Absolutely. And if you really want a machine like we have, this week we have financing. So we have 60 months.
4 whole days.
Well, the rest of the month for Baby Lock. Baby
Yeah,
Lock
that's true.
gave us a very
It's just like,
tiny
really?
4 days.
4 days.
And one of the days we're closed because it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Yeah.
So 3
You're
days.
like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
but we can do basically 60-month financing on Solaris or a Luminaire for the rest of the week. We have
work out some trades. We are happy to get you guys where you want to be. So
absolutely. So if you've been hemming and hawing, now is a
great
good time, especially if you've been hemming and hawing about a Solaris, because we know there's going to be a significant price increase in the next round of machines that are coming up.
$2,000 difference price increase.
Yes.
Huge.
Big
so
price.
very big difference.
So if you've been thinking about it now, do it now. Don't wait. That was our
Speak now or forever
hold your peace. That was our infomercial for today.
Yes.
Bleh.
We're trying not to be like, buy this. That's not the goal here. We're just trying to give you guys some input as to what has shown up and what's available to you.
Yep.
So
Everybody always asks us what's new, so we thought this would be a good way.
to do that. There isn't always what's new. So
No.
sometimes, wait a minute, we have one more thing we have
Oh
to
my
show.
goodness, yes. We got the cutest fabric.
So for all of you cat lovers out there, this is probably some of the cutest Christmas fabric ever. So, you know, the trees and the little hats and all of that cuteness. I love the little Santa.
Right, and the
cat.
looks on their face. It's like
They're so pissed off.
they are so happy to be dressed up. It is
It's just like in real
it's
life.
just like a real cat.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is absolutely
When
adorable.
you put a hat on them or a leash if you try to take your cat for a walk. I tried that once with my cat.
Unfortunately, I'm allergic, so
He
I tried. You can ask my mom when you guys see her because she's in here a lot too. But I tried getting a cat. My best friend in high school raised horses they housed horses and raised them, and they always had tons of cats. And I'd go over to her house and they'd have all these kittens, and I'd pick it up and then I would
break out.
Oh God, it was awful.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm fine, Mom. Can't we please take one home? She never bought it. Imagine that. It was a dead giveaway. Everything swelled and turned red and itched. It was awful, but I really wanted a kitty. But I've never had one. Instead, I've got 4 dogs. Love my family.
Well, I think
I think that
that's
is it. We do have some adorable Halloween fabrics. If you guys are looking for some Halloween projects, is it Tony or Hayden that wanted that mask?
Tony.
Tony had to have a mask with the skulls on it.
Oh, there's my blue one.
Oh, there it is.
See, it doesn't match,
It's the wrong color blue.
but it's blue, right?
All right. So I think that's about all we have for you guys today. So thanks for hanging out with us. Any questions, give us a buzz. If you'd like to sign up for Embroidery Club, you can certainly let us know that you want a spot held, but you do have to come into the store to pick up the kit. It has to only be at least the day before your class, or actually even the day of your class, because it's at close that we're actually going to be doing that. Make sure you bring a USB stick with you so I can give you the files and all of the directions and everything.
It just occurred to me that the end broadcast button is way over there.
Wow. I'm going to have to walk around the table or something. That's going to be a fun one. So
Maybe
I'm going to
Hayden
just
can reach around and do the end broadcast for us. So there's a little red button. All right, so hold on one second. Bye,
All right,
guys.
bye, guys. Thanks for
so
joining
much
us.
for joining us. Bye. There you go.